Vlad the Impaler, aka Vlad the Impaler, Prince of Wallachia, son of the dragon, aka Vlad the Impaler. Yep, that's right. His honorific name was Vlad the Impaler. He was born in the 15th century and died in the 15th century. And he became infamous for being cruel. So much so that the legends surrounding his brutality have echoed throughout the centuries, inspiring horror, fascination, and yes, even an occasional bad pun. But here's the kicker. Despite the sheer volume of stories about the prince's sadistic acts, we don't have much documentation from the time that actually corroborates them. I mean, there are a lot of tales about Vlad having dipped his bread in blood, shall we say. But it's tough to verify these claims, since most of the chronicles about his life were written by his rivals and may have been heavily exaggerated or entirely fabricated to make him look bad. What we do know is that Vlad ruled a land caught between two mighty empires, and he fought hard to defend his homeland. One of Vlad's favorite methods of dealing with his enemies was, well, shall we say, decidedly unpleasant. Impalement. You heard me right. It involved skewering victims on wooden stakes, leaving them to die slowly as their bodies rotted. This wasn't exactly a quick and painless way to meet your demise. In fact, it was slow, terrifying, and as public as the powers that be could make it. Entire forests of corpses lined the roads, serving as a grim reminder of Lot's wrath and a warning to any would-be invaders. Chronicles tell of Vlad impaling thousands of enemies at once, their screams echoing across the land. Now, whether all these stories are 100% true or just a bunch of propaganda, it does unreally matter, because they paint a picture of a man who commanded fear like an avenging god. But Vlad's reign of terror didn't stop there. There are also stories of Vlad mutilating prisoners, including one particularly gruesome account of him forcing a mother to eat her own child. Yeah, it's messed up stuff. But again, we can't say for sure how many of these stories are true. So let's take a step back and remember that while Vlad may have been a ruthless ruler, history is filled with leaders who did equally terrible things in the name of conquest and control. Vlad just happens to be the one whose legend has survived and morphed into something truly terrifying. As the centuries passed, stories of Vlad the Impaler's cruelty and weirdness found their way into the folklore of Wallachia and beyond. People started calling him Dracula, which actually means son of the dragon in Romanian. So no, despite what some people think, it doesn't come from the Latin word for son of the devil. And it was centuries later when Vlad's name and deeds inspired Bram Stoker to create Dracula, the iconic vampire who dipped his bread in blood. Stoker took bits and pieces of Vlad's story, added a heavy dose of vampire lore, and voila, the most famous fictional villain in history was born. So is Vlad the Impaler actually a real-life vampire? Well, not in the traditional sense. He didn't have any of those telltale signs like fangs and a thirst for blood. Instead, his supposed blood drinking was metaphorical, a way to emphasize his brutality and show just how far he was willing to go to get what he wanted. But that doesn't mean we can't learn from his story. Vlad's legacy reminds us that power and cruelty can corrupt even the best of intentions. He was a man who defended his homeland only to become a monster in the process. And while it's easy to dismiss him as just another brutal prince, he serves as a warning to those who wield power. In the end, Vlad the Impaler may not have been a vampire, but his reign of blood ensured that his shadow would live on in the realm of horror forever. For some, Vlad remains a hero, a ruler who defended his people with ruthless justice. For others, he is proof of how power and cruelty can twist a man into something worse than a monster. And so, the line between history and horror blurs. So what do you think? Is Vlad the Impaler proof that some people just want to watch the world burn? Or is he a misunderstood leader who was just trying to do what was best for his people? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for more historical tales. Until next time, stay cool.